Hello, it's 4/22, 30th Saturday, vlog, um, of, November. So, it's just about to be December. So I'm gonna go to sleep right now. I've been up it's like 4:22, and I got up at like something like 3 in the afternoon or whatever yesterday. So I've been working for like more than 24 hours. I was this morning, for my food, because I had a salad yesterday for food. And this morning I was kind of hungry. So for food, I actually drove. I wanted to do something different. So I drove up to do Dud's Diner up on the hill. But they were closed. So I went and got enchilada at, enchilada at Santiago's. And then I went to my mom's house and had it there. But then she had a bunch of Thanksgiving food. So I she just gave a bunch of it to me, and I brought it home and put it in the fridge. So I'll have that later on. So I came back and I was working, and so what I've been doing is yesterday I was working on Basil Caracalla, but then I said, okay, wait, now I want to do the tours. So all morning, there's this guy who's doing a tour, and 5.5 hour long tour, walking around Rome, 15 kilometers, or he said it was 15 miles, but my thing says 15 kilometers. And so I traced what he did, and then I just looked at it and looked like I was walking around Rome. And then everything that I saw that was interesting, that was mentioned, I made sure to put a note on it. And so there was two things that I saw that I actually built. There were two towers, medieval towers that are two. One of them was like I made mine at 83 meters, like 275 feet high. They built it in 1150, but then 120 years later in 1348, it toppled the top part of it toppled in a earthquake, and so now only 50 meters of it is standing. The earthquake also toppled some of the like a couple of the spires of this Christian church that they built in 432. So that was still in the Roman Empire, and it still like stands in full. It's still fully functional. So that's the most intact building from the Roman Empire. I didn't even know existed. So I can't even. It's called Santa Maria Maggiore Church, and the spire is 75 meters high. And when I looked at the plan, I think it was a rebuild of the original. So the original had two spires that were 75 meters high. So if you want to know how high the highest buildings in ancient Rome were, when it was still an empire, well, 75 meters high, and it was built in the 400s when it was like just about to fall. Like, how do they have the money to build that thing so big? I want to like research that a little bit more. And so I'm gonna rebuild that. They had a really good plan that I copied, and then I rebuilt these two medieval towers, and that one of them, I think they both toppled in the earthquake, but one of them's still only 50 meters high still, and the other one's 30. So I took one up to 83 meters, and the other one to 83 meters, and the other one to 63. And then most of the Colosseum toppled in that 1348 earthquake too. So most of the Colosseum was standing until 1348. So 1300 years it was standing, and it's like, well, it's still standing now. And even after they took out all the iron beams, so it's built really well. So yeah, and I was like doing other things, like I collected an image of the Ara Pacis, this old temple from ancient Rome, and superimposed the map on where it was, and decided where it was, and then same thing with these two pillars, and yeah, just I can't remember now, but just figuring out where I wanted to put all these different buildings from ancient Rome. So even though those towers were built, one of them was 1150, the other one was like 1250. A lot after the Roman Empire. I'm sure like in the Roman Empire there must have been towers like that. Those are medieval style towers, but they're also really high. So yeah, they're not pure castles. They're also just big towers. And Rome must have had something like that. So I'm gonna put that in my map. But I'm gonna have it accurate. Show the dates of all the buildings. But when I have like tours of it, I'm gonna have those standing. And yeah, one of them I only had to move not very far, and I put it inside of a building where it had a great space to put one. And the other one I only had to move it a little bit to have a space. So there was space available to put them without having to take away any buildings on the map, because the map's really jam packed with buildings in the middle. So there's this one really old looking wall on the Capitoline Hill on one of the spurs of it. And I was wondering if that's an original wall. I'm going to go ahead and just assume it is and like build it as part of an original wall from really old, a long time ago in Rome. There was this other section in Rome that I didn't see where there were these three temples from like 300 BC that weren't in my map. So yeah, I learned a lot about Rome. Another thing that I noticed about Rome before, but I really like, this is the first time I really did the walkthrough, and I didn't do the entire walkthrough at his pace. I zoomed fast, and then with my mouse, my Apple mouse, I can just push up, and it goes really well, scratching forward and back. But yeah, there's all these. The entire city is pedestrian. I didn't realize that, which is really cool. Like the entire city is pedestrian mall, and everybody's tourists just walking around at the shops. But there's all these big armored vehicles with cops and machine guns standing around all over the place. At first, it made me feel kind of like uncomfortable. Like, what is this? Like Central America? But then I thought, no, it's actually very Roman, because Roman, you want to protect Rome from the Vandals, and there are. I was reading in the Wikipedia article about the Santa Maria Maggiore church, and I think it was in like 2011 or something. A couple of Muslims tried, with bomb straps to them, tried to destroy the church, and that's more than 1,000 years old. It's like, no, it's 1,600 years old, and the cops had to ran in and had to stop them, and I'm assuming it was the guys with the machine guns, and then so they tried to get the surrounding their like countrymen around them to like attack the cops or something. It sounded crazy. It was in the Wikipedia article. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a big target, and if they lose that, it's a huge, tragedy. So yeah, protect it. And but yeah, no town is like that. No city is like that, where the entire thing is just this giant outdoor museum. So we've been talking for 8 minutes 22 seconds. So yeah, when I get up, I didn't totally fix the route that the guy did, so I want to go and totally fix it, and the one that he did. But then I would have to adjust it a little bit if I'm going to do it for my ancient, because he was going through buildings that existed then, and I think on some roads that didn't exist then. So I'd have to adjust it a little bit to make my own. But yeah, because I want to make my own tour that he did, so you can see it in both times. But for my time travel triathlon, and if that's 15 kilometers, yeah, maybe you could make that fit, one of them. So anyways, I've been talking long enough. I'm gonna go to sleep now and get up, and then what will I do? Oh yeah, that Horsey Trail, and then go back to the Baths. Yeah, Baths of Caracalla, and I was doing pretty well on that. I think I'm done tracing it, so now it's just coloring, and the tracing it is the most time consuming. Ooh, it was almost 10 minutes. Okay, enough talking. Talk to you tomorrow.